Hello! Let me make sure the framing's right. Oh my god, look how beautiful this is. Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Emma Brooks. We are back and today we're gonna do something a little different, a little out of the ordinary. Today we're going to talk not about books that I have finished or about books that I want to read. We're going to talk about books that I haven't finished or refused to finish or didn't even want to start, really. I don't know if that fits into that category. Anyway, we got some books that we gotta talk about that I have not finished. And these are all kind of out of order because this has been over the course of my time reading. These books fall into categories such as I literally could not finish this, or two, I want to finish this, but it's taking me a really long time, and I'll explain why. Let's get started. But first we need my drink, which today is a Celsius tropical vibe. I feel like I always have a drink with me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I think I should always have a drink with me in these videos, and today this is what we're drinking. Thank you very much. All right, let's get started. On the top we have I Fell in Love with Hope by, it just says Luncali, but I think it's Taylor Luncali. I found this book on TikTok actually, and let me just tell you, like, for example, she says, this is whenever I knew I couldn't read this book. As a writer, I also believe it is my responsibility to clearly showcase sensitive material that is portrayed, described, and otherwise mentioned. This story contains domestic abuse, eating disorders, intense physical bullying, self-harm, suicide, rape, depression, anxiety, and gory descriptions of disease, autoimmune disorders specifically. After I read the foreword, I was like, I am not in the state of mind to read this book. And it wasn't that I didn't even start this book, because the opening line of the before is the love of my life wants to die. Could not handle it in that moment. I had just read both of the Sally Rooney books, and as I keep mentioning, whenever I read Sally Rooney, I was not okay. I repeat, I was not okay. I was spiraling, and there was a lot going on. I was just not ready for this book. I think that I would pick it back up, but not anytime soon. Not ready for this. But I love the cover art. I think it's very beautiful, and I bought it for a reason. I think there was like a description that I really liked about it, but then I was like, oh, that's a lot of things to handle in one. I think the next book that I'm going to read that I will make me cry for sure is The Song of Achilles. Hopefully there's not all of that in that book, because I will not be okay. The next book is Stephen King's If It Bleeds. Honestly, I don't even know if I've ever read a Stephen King novel, but I was in the airport and I was like, you know what? This is like a good like travel size. Like, it's a good travel size. I was like, it's not terrible. It's Stephen King. Like I've never, let's give it a try. I didn't make it past, wow, page 20. Did not make it past page 20. I got really bored really fast. I'm assuming his other famous books are like, and it just was really boring in those first 20 pages. I couldn't push myself and I didn't want to, so I didn't. I can't even remember anything specific as to why I didn't finish pushing. Because sometimes, like even with what I'm reading right now, A Gentleman in Moscow, I'll push through, because if I know it's gonna get good at the end, or if I'm just gonna push through it through at least the middle. Didn't even push through. I don't know why, but something was just like, you don't need to finish this book. So I didn't. And also, can we normalize not finishing books? It's fine. Some books just aren't meant to be for you. The next book is Other Names for Love by Tamor Sumro. This book just really confused me. I read up to chapter 13, which is 130 pages, which is like right in the middle of the book. By the time I got to chapter 13, I found out that 15 years had already taken place, and I was like, the chronological order of things was really confusing. Like, I really don't want to get this wrong. I think this was like, I read this book a long time ago. I think it is set in Pakistan or Iran. I don't want to be wrong, but it's in the Middle East, and there was a lot of new culture things that I didn't know about, so that was fine. Like, I don't mind learning new things, like that's great. It was just the time order was so confusing, and the POV was just kept jumping around, and I'm pretty good at that. Or at least I think I am. I'm able to kind of gauge where things are and like what time it is and like who's speaking and where's the thought process, if it's a flashback, if it's like whatever it may be. I'm pretty much able to do that. But with this book, I was just really confused. I haven't read anything else that the author's written, so he's probably a great author, and this probably is a beautiful love story. It's about two men, and obviously like in a different culture there's different principles and different lifestyles, and like with their families it's different. So I bet it's a very inspirational, beautiful book, but I just wasn't able to keep track of the chronological order of things. So I kind of gave up on it. Next, I was so close to finishing this book, The Untethered Soul. Great book. Like almost there. Like literally like 60 pages left. Why couldn't I finish it? I put it down, never picked it back up again. And you know why? It's because I'm not good at reading these kinds of books where it's like philosophical, self-help, insightful, let me grow your brain a little bit kind of beat. I'm really bad at those books because I read to not think, and this makes me think. This made me question a lot of things. This made me live my life differently, and I loved that. I loved it. But yeah, it was like this or the other fictional book that I was reading at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna go live in my fantasy world with all my little vampire boyfriends. You know what I'm saying? I think this was whenever I was reading Crave, so that's what I'm assuming. That's why I was like that. But yeah, no, really great book. Didn't finish it. It's not because it was bad. I just am bad at reading self-help books. I would love to be better. I have them in my apartment. I haven't read them yet. Next! The Grit and Glamour of an Icon, Elizabeth Taylor. This is a memoir, or autobiography, I mean. I started to read it. I got like 50 pages in. I'm just really bad at reading these, you know? Like, I want to be better about reading autobiographies, and like, I really love Elizabeth Taylor, and I used to think that my grandma looked like Elizabeth Taylor when she was younger, so I really love her, and she's a very inspirational like movie star who literally was one of the most highest paid women. I just really loved her, so I picked this book up in the airport. I just put it down and didn't pick it back up because I started reading a fictional novel. But not to say, I mean, Demi Moore and Brooke Shields are on the back of and Andy Cohen are on the back of this book for reviews, so you know it's a good one. Next book is a classic, Miss Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice. Don't get me wrong, I want to finish this book, but boy, oh boy, they talk so different, and I have to think so much while reading this goddamn book. I don't want to think. I want to sit back, enjoy, watch it play out like a movie in my brain. Because whenever I watch movies, I feel like I need to be doing something with my hands, and like I'm on my phone playing a game while also watching the TV. When I'm reading a book, it's in my hands, it's in front of me. I am imagining it playing out in real life while also just like enjoying and taking it in. I gotta think so much with this book, and it's not even bad. Like obviously it's a classic, and I hear it gets so good. So I'm like page 100. I need to finish this book. Give me some time, okay? I'm really like, I just need some time to finish this book. I just got bored. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking way too much. What the f is this bishop doing? That is your cousin's. Why do you want to marry your cousin? I understand it was different times. Still freaks me out. Like, Mr. Darcy, get your together. Why are you so blah, 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 blah. Maybe I'll finish it. We'll see. Maybe in like 10 years I'll finish it. All right, now we're gonna do a complete 180 on those kinds of books. A false start, Elsie Meyer. I almost finished this book, but honestly, like I'm on fucking, what is it? 26, no, this is page 276. Let me explain. This book is the reality TV version, the Too Hot to Handle, Love Island, Bachelorette version of books. Because it is just straight cliche tropes of perfect people having great and that's just unrealistic. Don't look at me. Don't look at me like that. You know what I mean? This is just something that like when things are rough and you just want to break, you read this. And like I got what I needed out of it in like the rest of those first 276 pages. And you know, I was like, all right, I feel better now. I need to put this book away and never touch it again. I probably will buy more Elsie Silver. Did I call her Elsie Meyer? I called her Elsie Meyer, didn't I? I'll probably buy Elsie Silver again whenever I experience that those moments where I'm just like, I just need that pure, just like, ooh, that You know what I mean if you read this book. If you read any of her books, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying, you know. Definitely didn't. I'm like, the rest is just like, I know how it's gonna end. Like, I already can tell. Like, that's the kind of book it is. Like, you're like, I know how this is gonna end. I can just put it away. Never look at it ever again. And that's what I did. Last book. The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. So I bought both the books. As one does. Because I bought the first one and then they were like, oh, it's a series. It's really great. I don't know what it was about it, but I just got bored. I was like, you know what? I don't want to read this anymore. And I was like, I bet this is like a cute, like it's like old people solving murders, solving crime, figuring out whoever murdered this one guy in the book, like the owner's friend or whatever. And they're using this young girl who's in the police force. And you know, I got to page, oh wow, I didn't even get into 100 pages. I was on page 90 whenever I finished this. Like, put this book down, never picked it back up. I bet it's good. I've heard great things about the series, but right now I just got really, like, I was over it. I was like, I want to read something else right now, and I don't know if I'll take a step back into it. But these are the books that I'm like, Besides, of course, I need to finish Pride and Prejudice because it's just like a cult classic, or not cult classic, it's a classic. These are my books that I never finished. I hope you enjoyed. I sure did. I mean, I literally could talk about whatever book you guys want for the rest of my life. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I sure did. If you have read any of these books and you want to change my mind, try to in the comment section. I would love for someone to change my mind on any of these books, please. But I will see you guys next time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you can know every single time that I post. And I love you all. Bye, guys.